never had a wing, ever?
What do you mean you've never had a wing?
Never, ever had a wing.
You've never had. Wait a minute.
No, I'm just never have.
You've never had a chicken wing?
No.
Like,
why would I?
Why would you?
Don't they have skin and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of things have skin.
But I don't eat skin.
Apples have skin.
Why eat apples?
You've never had a single chicken wing?
No, never thought about having it.
That is staggering to me. So what kind of chicken do you eat?
White breast.
What about, like,
fried chicken?
You'll eat fried chicken?
Never had fried chicken.
Never?
Well, I've taken the crust off and.
What is this? What is this? You've taken the crust off?
Yeah. Well, what?
So you're losing the frying part of the fried chicken.
Well, that's why.
Chicken tenders? You had to have had chicken tenders.
Yeah, I have.
All right.
But that's not a chicken wing.
No, I'm. Have you ever turned down the opportunity to have chicken wing?
No, I just choose not even to think of ever having one. What? So I guess I don't want to go. What was the name of that
Change
place?
of pace.
Sal's?
Well, yeah, Sal's. But here's what you got to do. Since you've never had one,
no.
Go to the change of pace. You'll never need to have another wing.
I just wish my changeup was better. Change of pace.
I see.
Yeah, see it?
Yeah, you would have won, what, 269 games?
At least. Yeah, at least one more.
Not a single chicken.
Never.
Wow. I'm so glad we found this out. How can I get you to eat a chicken wing this year? That is now my 2025 goal. That's my New Year's resolution.
They have to have
3 months too late.
I don't think it's part of the value menu here at.
I don't think it is, but maybe
somebody has to have them.
By the way, there are good wings in town. There are some very fine Baltimore institutions for chicken wings. Several of them in the Canton area, which I know you frequent. Quan grounds out to Westberg. That ends the inning. A scoreless 8th for chicken wing aficionados. Scott Blewett.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Alongside a guy who's never shy about eating a chicken wing, wearing a Boston Celtics hat today. Yeah, he's a front runner, folks. The Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, rocking my Virginia Preps hat and my Victory Life sweatshirt. Shout out to my man Dwight Vick, who we've had on the show before, former Hampton Crabber and Virginia Tech Hokie. It is another edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk on this Easter weekend on CoVA Sports TV. No, we had enough Yankee, whatever you want to call it, paraphernalia last week on the show, especially when you had everybody brainwashed from James Clark about soccer and Yankees, Chad Edwards of defending Class 3 state champion Spotswood about the Yankees, and Jermaine Woods, behold the green and gold, the new Norfolk State women's basketball coach, about your Yankees. And if you missed any of that, it's available on our YouTube channel on CoVA Sports TV, also archived up on VirginiaPreps.com, among the various platforms we stream with you each and every Saturday: Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, Twitter, X. And we encourage you to interact with us each and every week. A little earlier start time than usual today because we have duty, specifically me, but also the other guy, because the curmudgeon on the other side of my screen with the Celtics hat will be part of our broadcast coverage of the 71st Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School today, as 64 of the nation's best college basketball seniors display their talents in front of hundreds of scouts, general managers, agents, and more. So you can watch that action live on WGNT TV in the Hampton Roads market, as well as through PrepSpi on the web. So we encourage you all to do just that on this particular Saturday. Good morning, sir. You got up way early. I'm trying to rest the voice and get some sleep. And as you can tell, the voice is becoming a little hoarse, of course.
Yeah. Good morning. I can hear it. You need to rest a little bit. You got to do some games. You got to do 4 games today. So you better be careful, because you on TV now. You can't go horse on TV. You can kind of disguise it on radio, but not on TV. So if we have to get off early, we got to get off early. But anyway,
hold on. You said I have to be careful. I'm worried about what you say on television because Lord knows that.
No, I'm calm. No problem. Been on TV in the past, so it's and the action is good. I was there Wednesday night, first night of the PIT. Saw a couple games, good action. Have not been able to get over there the last 2 days. We'll be over there for the calls on the games today that I'll be on, and people need to get out there. But if they can't, WGN, right? Did you say WGN?
Can you get the right channel? Oh my gosh, you're going to go to WGN, which doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. WGNT.
TNT. Put the T in there.
Good gravy.
The T in there. What's WGN? Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Cubs.
Yes. And I don't even know if that exists anymore. It's probably something else. I'm not even sure.
I was going to say, if those Cubby fans out there, you can watch that one later on today. If you're not into the basketball, watch the Cub action.
We have some special guests that will be a part of today's show. You'll hear from Julian Reese of the Maryland Terrapins, brother of one Angel Reese of the WNBA Chicago Sky, who won a national championship at LSU. What is she? The Bayou Baby, I think is her name, the Bayou Baby. But you'll also get a chance to hear from some others, and that includes Shane Hallam, DraftSharks. NFL Draft is coming up on Thursday, and it's just 5 days away. Who's going where? Is Cam Ward the first pick? How many trades will there be? Shane breaks it all down, including where the 757 flavor will go. Guys like Keandre Lambert-Smith of Maury, who played at Auburn after starting his college career at Penn State, Charles Grant of William & Mary, and others expected to hear their names called. And he has a full 7-round mock draft, over 200-plus picks on DraftSharks.com. We'll do over or under. We do a lot of buy or sell, more or less, over under different games on this show. We haven't done it in a while. That'll be coming up later in the show as well. We'll give you our NBA and NHL playoff picks, too, on this particular episode. And we will be off by 10 a.m. sharp because if Ed's still talking at 10 a.m. because I have to get to the PIT, he'll just be talking and we'll cut him off mid-sentence and the stream will end. So, folks, you can synchronize your watches. We will be ending by 10 a.m. No ands, ifs, or buts. Hey, Gene Jones, we say good morning to you out there.
What's up, Gino?
On the chat line, the comment box through YouTube and Facebook and all the different platforms. Again, I still got to get the crew in the back, the crew in the back of my mansion beyond the piano. You see back there, you see the piano man? Sing us a song, you're the piano man. If they can somehow figure out how to get our Instagram comments on the show, it would be wonderful. I still have not figured that out. And I'm sure there's a way to do it. Just I haven't been smart enough to figure that out. But we can get our comments through, I believe, the X or the Twitter, Hatfield Sports, where we're streaming, and also on 757 Sports Talk, YouTube with CoVA Sports TV, and my Facebook channel, as well as the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Facebook, VA Preps Classic Facebook, all kinds of different outlets to interact with us. Did you watch any of the play-in action on Friday night since you were moseying around? I was at the PIT for day 3 of 4. I didn't get a chance to watch it all. Dallas falls short in its game against Memphis and John Morant, a.k.a. G.I. Ja, and Atlanta bowing out against Miami. Trae Young's getting a lot of criticism right now. We might have to connect with our pal Bob Rathbun, former broadcaster in this area, Emmy Award winner who does the Atlanta Hawks, to get his thoughts on where they stand right now. It's Miami. You can never count on Eric Spoelstra, huh? Tyler Hero has a big game, and they're marching on.
Saw some of the Memphis game and just saw the highlights of Atlanta and Miami. Wasn't able to see that. That game went pretty much according to form. Miami on the win.
When you watched the Memphis game, did you have your Zach Edey jersey on?
I don't have a Zach Edey jersey. Zach did a nice job. You know, he's going to be a pretty good player. He's going to be.
That's not what Charles Barkley said at halftime the other night.
Charles says a lot, but Zach Edey is, will make the all-rookie team. Will lead the rookies in rebounding at least.
Second team, not first team.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, if they would go by position, he would be first team. But if they just pick 5 guys, more than likely it would be second because he doesn't play quite as much as those first 5 guys do. But Zach has been important, but it doesn't really matter because they will get – I kind of give them one game against OKC and they're done.
Would you like to put a chicken wing bet on the line there. Loser gets chicken wings. How about that? I'm sorry, loser has to buy chicken wings for the winner.
I don't mind some chicken wings. Good chicken wings. Good chicken wings.
Did that floor you, by the way, that Jim Palmer hadn't had any chicken wings?
That's a shock. As long as Jimbo's been around, the opportunity to eat somewhere, even though all the banquets he's attended and whatever, they wouldn't have chicken wings. But summertime barbecue cookouts, family reunion somewhere, I'm shocked. His whole life, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Our buddy Chris Brown out there says good morning. Again, we can't get for some reason. I hope the guys are watching back. Our crack staff. If Nick and Chuck and the gang are watching, and Jack out there, I know Jack might be doing some lacrosse this morning, guys. So he might be a little busy. Our man Jack Lowe, but we are not able to get some of the comments up through now the X I see. But I do see Chris Brown, the basketball coach over at Smithfield, saying good morning to us. How about his son goes in the portal and headed to South Florida? So Xavier Brown, really good player, going to USF to play for the Bulls. Nice pickup for them. Played at James Madison, part of the NCAA tournament team a couple years ago. It's now becoming a longer list of who's not in the portal than who is in the portal. That's another discussion for another time. However, but good for X, get a chance to go down there, make some noise in the AAC. Before we hit break, what are you most excited about this weekend? Basketball and hockey playoffs are starting up. Spring sports are in full swing on the high school front here in VA. A little birdie told me, I think it's next weekend, our friend Larry Obama releases all Tidewater boys basketball teams. I think the all Tidewater girls basketball teams are coming out next weekend as well in the print edition of the pilot. So people want to go check that out, they can do so. We got the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame coming up next weekend. How about legendary Crabbers coach Mike Smith among those going in? Virginia High School League Hall of Fame. We'll have that scroll across ticker 2. It's coming up later this month as well. All kinds of things. And then we're not that far off from the Kentucky Derby, which is one of your favorite events of the year.
Love to see the ponies run around the track. It's we say it's a great time of the year for sports, but you almost could say that anywhere. Don't forget Norfolk Admirals in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs.
Look how astute you are. You watch the ticker and you pay attention. And they're playing who, by the way, since you're watching the ticker? So
I can't even see this. I can't even see the ticker.
Well, you need to get glasses. It's the Wheeling Nailers.
Yeah, they're playing a team out of West Virginia. I remember that. They're up 2-0.
And the series resumes on Wednesday. By the way, no more games at Scope for this round.
Yeah, I missed the first round. I'm going to definitely have to see a game second round. They should win this round. And then it gets a little bit tougher after that. I'm not sure who they would play second round, but I did see a game, their last regular season game. I went out to see that.
Saves, 33 saves on 33 shots faced. Incredible. So, yeah.
Yep. You got to get out. People got to get out and see. But there's a lot of good things going on, of course. NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, which is not exciting right now because it's still early, month of April. But the Yankees, 5 in a row. Yankees, 5 in a row. Surprising even me, because we're good, but we're not that good.
Well, who had a 5 in a row going until yesterday, right?
Probably the Dodgers, Cubs.
No, can't be. No. My gang, the D-backs, lost to the Cubs, but it was those D-backs who ended up scoring. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. 10 runs in an inning in the 8th inning. And lost a game. How do you score 10 runs in an inning and lose?
Probably because the Cubs scored 6 also that same inning?
They scored 5 in the 7th and 6 in the 8th. Yes, smart guy. Very, very good. Very good.
A wild guess. Dad taking a wild guess.
But they were punishing the fish, the Marlins down in Miami until they had to play the Cubbies, and that was the end of that hot streak. But that NL West, I saw a stat the other day that the Diamondbacks would be in first place in any other division in baseball, but they're in 4th in the NL West. What does that tell you? It tells me something. What does it tell you?
It's a tough division. I watched the Padres.
It tells you the NL West is the NL best. It's the MLB's best.
Yeah, it could. It might have that title this year.
Usually, might, sir. It is. It is.
Yeah. Usually that American League East is a gauntlet to go through, and producing 3 playoff teams. If I'm not mistaken, last year, probably will do it again. But that National League West, yes. I'll tell you what, that San Diego team, 1 through 9,
they're good.
They can hit it. Boy, the pitching stays strong. Everybody's talking about Dodgers sweeping and running right through it. Arizona, San Diego will have a lot to say by the end of the season.
By the way, the people that said Fernando Tatis, they thought he was overrated. They're crazy. The guy hit 2 home runs in a game the other night. They won against the Cubs. He's
very good. His situation being a youngster, though, is injuries. He was injured last year early, so that's the only thing.
Ooh, good question from Gene out there. Have you watched the HBO documentary that Bill Simmons did on the Celtics?
Not yet. Not yet. It's definitely I'm behind on so many documentary series.
He hasn't even watched the Patino documentary on Vice, and he idolizes.
I get 3 million channels from 27 different countries, and I can't get. What is it, Vice, you said, with the Patino stuff?
Yeah, it's over. By the way, you were watching it one day at people see back here, my TV. I can't show the TV. It's right near the fireplace and the piano. But that
don't look like the place I saw the thing, but that's a whole nother story.
Anyways, you were watching it, and we had to go to Green Run Maury, and I had to pull you away from the TV because you were getting.
I will get it back.
You in. As Bill Parcells says, you officially consider yourself, you got sucked. You got sucked in is what happened.
Yeah, I'm going to eventually see it. There's no question not going to see it. I got to see it. Celtics is my believe it or not, I'm wearing a Yankee t-shirt and a Celtic hat. Figure it out. He's also got on Raider underwear and Steelers socks, for those that wonder. I'm sure that'll get brought up to Shane Hallam later. I don't think I have either of those on at all.
Okay.
So that's another story. But yeah, Gino is a Boston University. Those who don't know, Gene Jones, formerly of the 757. Now, from Gino, what part of Carolina? I think it's near Raleigh. He's down in the Carolina ways, running a school down there. Gino was a very, very good player. Norfolk
Catholic
Academy.
He's Catholic or Academy. He'll correct.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Gino, correct us. I want to say Norfolk Academy player, went to Boston University, and longtime successful coach down here in the area. Then something crazy hit him in the head, and he decided to be a high school principal. Whoa. But I wouldn't mind having Gino as my high school principal. Would not mind that at all.
So, yeah, that is the latest there. Oh, here we go. We got a comment from him. Granville County and Norfolk
Catholic.
I thought it was Norfolk Catholic.
Slap my face for saying Academy. I'm sorry, Gino.
I had it right. It was Catholic. Of course, you were off again. No shock.
Dad got an opposite field base hit on that one. He's now 1 for 3.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Granville County.
We'll come back from break, and you will hear from Julian Reese, Juju Reese of the Maryland Terrapins.
Hey, look, Gino, if you got an opening, I don't have a job, so.
He's begging, folks. He's begging out here. Hire me.
I'm not teaching anymore, though, but I got to be in the building, and I got to make money.
So they'll just make you the custodian.
I'll sweep the floor. I ain't got a problem with that.
Okay. I mean, that's what you'll be. And make you work the late night shift, right? To 2 a.m., the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. shift.
No, I got to be there when the kiddies are there. I got to be when the team is around. I can't be late night, dude.
2 to 4. Maryland's Julian Reese, one of the participants among the 64 at the PIT, will be coming on in just a bit to talk about his experience at the PIT and much, much more. We've also got Shane Hallam on the way here, too. From DraftSharks, you're watching another edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk on the championship weekend of the PIT. But it is time now for us to take a break. You'll hear from some of the sponsors that make it possible for us to do this with you. Stay tuned. You're watching 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. You need John Maynard. PFP, LUTCF, EA, all those initials behind his name mean he's qualified to work on your taxes. He's an ATA, accredited tax advisor. He's an ATP, accredited tax preparer. He's a fellow at NTPI, the National Tax Practice Institute. And if all that weren't enough, he's also been voted the best of Norfolk and the best of Virginia Beach awards. John Maynard has been professionally trained in tax preparation and representation. He brings to the table over 30 years' experience in federal and state returns. He delivers personalized, one-on-one service, and he's a certified electronic filer. The IRS likes electronic filers. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service, 455-6763.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor.
We've got to be well fed as well. I mean, that's important for us to be well fed here. And last night we discovered that you, Jim Palmer, had never eaten a chicken wing in your life. So look at what we have here. We've got a whole dozen from the Warehouse Bar and Grill.
Oh, good for them.
And look at this. So right here, these are going to be your first chicken wings of your life right here.
What are those?
These look like chicken tenders.
Okay, I could go for a chicken tender. Sorry, no offense. Who is it again?
Warehouse Bar and Grill. You're really not going to do it.
No.
Dutchman in the air to center.
No.
And so last night we discovered.
Do you have gloves that go with it?
That you never had a chicken wing in your life, so we thought we would give you a taste. I'm going to, and by the way, these are plain with ranch.
Yeah, no.
So it fits your palate. So I'm going to dive in the Warehouse Bar and Grill right out there on Utah Street.
Okay, well, I will get a chicken tender.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. And while chicken wings, chicken tenders are being talked about on this particular episode, I have to give a quick shout out to the wonderful men and women behind the scenes at the PIT, keeping me and all the NBA scouts, GMs, evaluators, folks that are working at the PIT well nourished. And that shout out, I did it on TV. I'll do it again here. Karen Cooper, Patsy Griffin, Clint Oliver, Bob and Kathy Wise, they have taken care of me. So bravo, job well done to all of you out there. They do a top-notch job.
Yeah, I've heard the reports have been out. You had some spaghetti on your shirt.
No, not me.
Put some am I allowed to say Chick-fil-A? You put some Chick-fil-A sandwiches in your pocket.
I did not do that. It didn't fit in the pocket. You're funny.
You are right now riding the first team all hospitality room 2 hospitality rooms.
No.
Has done it.
No,
Young hasn't even
don't
seen
do that.
one.
Don't say that. Why are you
All
starting trouble?
right. I'm going to ask one question.
Trouble?
Have you been in both hospitality rooms since you've been at the PIT this year?
Don't start trouble.
Have you been in both?
We have an interview. No? We have an interview to do. Why are you starting trouble?
That's my case.
Why are you starting trouble?
He says that I'm killing hospitality rooms. This dude is inventing them. He has his own section, signing autographs in one of them. NBA guys. The NBA guys had to ask him.
I got to grab a water. I'm trying to stay alive. I'm doing 12 games. Don't shake your head. We're gonna make sure. You know what? I'm gonna tell Patsy. I'm gonna tell Patsy and Karen and Clint and Bob and Kathy to keep you out. Put your picture up like wanted and stay out. Look at you. They like me. They don't care for you that much.
I don't even have a pass to go into the hospitality room. So,
there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that because you like to start trouble over there. Behave yourself.
Unbelievable. All first team in 2 hospitality rooms. Well, this dude right here. This one.
Speaking
right
of all first team, not hospitality, but all first team PIT, a guy with a chance for that is who, Ed?
Yeah, this kid's pretty decent. Some people know him for his sister. I think the name will cross people's minds. Angel Reese. This is Julian Reese. University of Maryland had a pretty good year. A great year for the Terpins in terms of what they did, Terrapins. But now Matt got a chance to corner him at the PIT where he is playing and doing a good job, and got a chance to talk to him about his career and maybe what's going to be coming down the road. So let's get a chance to look at that right here on Saturday Morning Sports Talk here on COVID Sports TV.
All right, one of the nation's best college basketball seniors, Julian Reese, competing with the Roger Brown's restaurant team at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. His team winning today 95-87, a double-double for you, Julian. 15 points and 10 rebounds after yesterday's performance with 9 boards and 16 points. Tell me about playing in this event. What's it mean to you, and finishing up your college basketball career before the next step in your journey?
Yeah, I like I'm been more educated about this event. Just learning so much about this event. I'm just grateful to be here. The more I learn, the more grateful I get just playing in front of all these coaches, just getting a second chance. After they see my season, just getting a little extra chance to play some fives, just show them what we got, and show them what we're capable of, and meet with the coaches and just meet with players. It's a great overall.
Now you played the 4, played alongside Derek Quinn with the Terps. You guys made that great run to the Sweet 16. You're listed at 6'9", 250. Do you feel like you can play that 5 beyond this level?
Yeah, I could play a little bit 5, but I'm more geared towards the 4. I'm trying to extend my range a little bit, just play more in the perimeter and just work on that in the offseason. Just do whatever it takes to just extend my range at the next level.
Your group ends up winning a buzzer beater with Queen's shot against Colorado State, which you had a great performance in that one with a double-double of 15 points, 11 rebounds to lose to the eventual champion Gators. You get the call to this event. When you came here, what was your mindset coming in and trying to prove to the scouts, the evaluators, those watching, what Julian Reese is all about?
Yeah, I was just trying to show the scouts, like I can do what I can already do. I wasn't trying to show them too much, like show them that things I don't usually do, like just hop out of my comfort zone, just doing things that I'm already good at and polishing things I'm already good at. I feel like I show them my game expanding as the next year goes on. I expand my game as the years going on. Those certain things that I'm weak at are going to come, and I'm just going to get better at those.
Terrific rebounder. We've talked about it on the broadcast. Is that the best part of your game, or is it something else? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I feel like right now at the next level, rebound is going to be the way to get me on the floor. You expand from there, just work out from there. You
spoke about expanding your game. Obviously, your family's decorated. You got your sister Angel, WNBA. Tell us about the conversations you all have had growing up, the backyard battles, if you will, and what advice she's giving you going through the process because she is a pro.
Yeah, she just helped me out a little bit. It's a little different with her on the women's side. She was really highly touted coming out of college or whatever. Just her telling me just to stay down, just keep working, and it's all going to pay off.
Did her popularity and opposite success, winning a national championship at LSU, and you coming from the Maryland area, did that help you? Was it a distraction? Did it take some pressure off in some sense?
No, it helped. I mean, it really didn't help or hurt me. I really didn't focus on that. I was just genuinely happy for my sister, just doing whatever she can do. Got a national championship. I tried to get one. We came up short, Sweet 16. But it's all good. But it's just a blessing to have somebody in the family to do something like that. Sure. Just doing what she's doing right now.
A couple more for you to let you run here. Best memories from your college career, and is this going to be part of that memories coming to this event? Because some say, all right, it's not as valuable as it is, but it's still something that's going on for 71 years, and only 64 guys get the call.
This is probably not my best memories from college, but this whole draft process is exciting. I'm excited to meet the new people, just learn the new things I got to add to my game as I transition to the pro.
Okay, so the best would be what? A win over somebody? A game? What would it be?
It'll probably be a win over Purdue at home my sophomore year.
Not bad to be the Bowlers with that group with Zach Edey, right?
Zach
He's out in the NBA with the Grizzlies. A couple more later on. You got a favorite NBA player that you've modeled your game after growing up?
Growing up, I modeled my game after KG, Chris Bosh, and Lamar Odom. I watched them a lot, but now my game kind of well-rounded. Now I kind of just focused on like guys that I could probably implement into my game in the future. Probably like Hartenstein, guys like Jalen Williams, Trace Jackson Davis, the guy I played in college. Just guys, those type of guys I feel like my game is similar to.
College basketball has changed during your career from the NIL to the portal and all the different things. A lot of people are very critical of it. How have you kept your inner circle close, and what things have you leaned on to get you through this process, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things that help you now on your next step?
No, I just kind of stayed to myself, just stuck to my guns, looked in the mirror, just recognized who I am. Just I feel like what I've been doing has been working, so I just been putting my head down and going to work.
All right, 2 fun ones here. We got a little rapid fire style. NBA Finals, who you got? Who wins it?
OKC.
Over
Celtics.
Okay. And one word to describe Julian Reese. What is it? Give me the one word.
Passionate.
That's the passionate playmaker, winner for the Maryland Terps. Thank you so much. All the best. Julian Reese.
There it was, Ed. Julian Reese of the Maryland Terrapins. He's been balling out. Double-double one game, just short of a double-double another game, and he'll be in action later on today. 4 games at the 71st Annual PIT. Good to catch up with him. You heard it. Best win was beating Zach Edey and the Boilermakers. Take that. And he's got OKC beating your Celtics. He also said, take that. Take that.
He's a youngster, good youngster too, smart, intelligent, good speaking. But, sometimes young kids don't really know everything they're talking about. So I don't have any problem with that.
So, yeah, that's good to hear from Julian Reese, who caught up with us at the PIT. He'll be in action among the 64 players. All the players, if you want to see them all in the PIT, today's your last chance because the game started at 11 a.m. Eastern, and you got games that will follow at 1 and 5 o'clock, and then the championship, Janet King against K&D Rounds at 7 o'clock tonight. So that should be a fun one, and some of the best players that have stood out in this event. I tell you what, last night, R.J. Felton from East Carolina put on a show, Ed. He was unreal, 5 of 5 from deep. He was a last-minute fill-in for Augustus Marshallonis, the son of Sarunas, Hall of Famer, and he was better than advertised. Sean Padula from Ole Miss has been great in clutch time and winning time down the stretch. Some good moments from Joe Bamasil, who's got the verticality, the athleticism. He from VCU. Ace Baldwin has shown some promising moments. Reese has been really good. So there's been a lot of impressive players. And Stephen Ashworth last night, the guard from Creighton, just so heady. I think one of our broadcasters last night, Daniel Sokolovsky and Matt Jones, talking about a lot of Colin Gillespie in his game where he could find himself, G League 2-way contract. The next thing you know, boom, he's playing in the NBA when you didn't think that would be taking place necessarily. So pretty cool to watch some of these players because it's been a paving ground for a lot of them over the years. Jimmy Butler, Derek White of the Celtics, John Stockton, Rick Barry, Earl the Pearl Monroe. The list goes on and on and on of those that have come through Portsmouth that have made their way to the National Basketball Association. You got a favorite PIT? I know for you probably personally, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm guessing seeing one of your former players, Shannon Evans, get to compete a few years back was up there, right?
Yes, Shannon was in there. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this one. Tony Smith from way back in the day played before having a tremendous career at Pfeiffer University and in Spain for many, many, many years, big-time career in Spain. And one of the last people cut from the Charlotte Hornets team got beat out by another pretty good player in the PIT, Muggsy Bogues. Little Muggsy and Spud Webb was another good player. NC State got some run in the PIT. So, but yeah, Shannon Evans.
2018, I just looked it up because we interviewed them all on Virginia Preps. It was Shannon from your program at Nansman River, Rajay Bullock from Kickitan,
yep,
Devin Hall from Cape Henry. We had locals. And then it was funny, yesterday we had on our television broadcast. And for those, I know we were having some technical issues on the TV side, but you can go back and watch these games. If you missed something, an interview that we've done, and a big thanks to the entire team from PrepSpi, William and his gang of folks, and Mark Davis at News 3, WGNT for their crew as well, allowing us to be a part of this. But you can go back and watch the broadcasts on in some of our interviews, conversations on PrepSpin. It's on the Twitter or the X as well. We had Trey Freeman on for a quarter of one of the games yesterday. Ed, he, the basketball coach at Kempsville, started at Kellam on Old Dominion, and played in the PIT. And he talked about when he went up against Dorian Finney-Smith of IC Norcom, now with the LA Lakers, who were in the event. And Shammond Williams was on with us, who was the interim men's basketball coach at the end of the season for University of Denver, was part of our Old Dominion women's basketball coaching staff for a while and played in the PIT back in 1997. We did the who he played for edition. You know how Barkley and the gang do it for Inside the NBA, who he played for. We did name who you played with at the PIT that got drafted back in 1997. And Shammond actually got all 7 of them right. It was pretty fun to do that with him. But no, it's cool just to hear the stories of all those that have come through, whether they have ties to the 757 or VA or not. And it's just a basketball reunion and gathering of sorts with a lot of folks that have connections, 757, VA, and globally.
I got to ask you, some pretty good big guys, some good mobile big guys in there. How did the big fella, who I think coming in, I would pick as the best big one in there from Memphis,
Musa Cisse, you like him? I understand. I saw you talking with Craig Frost, who's one of the coaches. By the way, I've already got it out there. Mike Holland of Churchland, former C&U captain. We were talking yesterday. I give the coaches all the shout outs. You got Craig Frost, you got Charles Thomas, Mike Holland, Kenny Harris, Jim Markey, Chris Furman. I'm leaving some guys out. I don't mean to, so I apologize. There's so many high school.
Let me interrupt real quick since you mentioned coaches. Paul Hall, formerly Western Branch head coach at War Hill,
not this year,
coaching this year because unfortunately last minute his son, and we want to send a shout out, suffered a heart attack.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
He's recovering. He's in hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. It was really touch and go for a while. Paul called me, gave me the whole story. I was completely shocked. A young fellow was playing, I say young, 33 years old, 32 years old, playing some basketball. He's in the military.
Oh, man.
And thank God the right people around got quick CPR and everything, took care of him. But it was really touch and go. So I want to send a shout out to Paul Hall and the family. They're up in Maryland right now. Paul, I think, would be coaching in the PIT. So that's why you will not see him this year. And Tim is on the road to recovery and we'll be back shortly enough. So just wanted to put that out.
Thoughts and prayers. Sorry about that. I heard he wasn't coaching this year, but I had no idea that was the reason. So
it was sudden. He was all planned to do and everything, but it just happened. And he called me on the way to Baltimore to let me know what was going on. So I just couldn't believe it. 33 years old. He's in the military. He's in great shape, whatever, went through basic training back whenever. And you just don't know when you have something. So, telling everybody out there, as everybody says, if something don't feel right, go get it checked. Let the doctor make the decisions. You're not a doctor. Let the doctor make decisions on maybe what's going on. So, and people do a little bit better job of trying to keep yourself in shape. Not that he wasn't. But, if you have to go up a flight of stairs and at the top you got to rest for 10 seconds, you need to get in a little bit better shape. I'm not saying you got to go out for the Olympics, but do something, take care of your health so you can be around a little bit longer.
Sure. I'm sorry to hear that. So we send Paul our best there. But a lot of the high school coaches in the tournament, I told Mike Holland, he's always rocking that do. I said, I'll let you – I'll uncork a do with you if you win the championship. You might douse him and me in the bucket of do. They're actually playing the championship tonight, Janet King. And speaking of that, because you asked about Musa Cisse, the big man from Memphis. And Memphis, by the way, one of their key guys now in the portal, PJ Haggerty, the AAC Player of the Year. The going rate, by the way, reportedly Ed is $4 million. Janet King outlasted Portsmouth Sports Club 82-80. Cisse had 11 points. 5 of 8 shooting, 6 rebounds in defeat. You'll get a chance to call his third place game today as they take on Portsmouth Partnership. Meanwhile, Janet King moves on to the championship, and they will take on K&D Rounds. So Janet King got a good group with Stephen Ashworth, Curtis Jones of Iowa State, who had 28 points and was just off the charts good last night. And they'll be taking on Sean Padula's bunch. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Now, I gotta ask you, as a person up close and watch, you've seen everybody play.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see everybody play a second time, third time. Is there a guy or 2 or 3 you feel right now at least will get drafted the NBA's two rounds, people. It's 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Most of these guys would, if they're getting drafted, would probably be second. Anybody you see that you think maybe would have a shot at getting that second round draft?
Shot, yes, but nobody I would say definitively. I wouldn't say anybody definitively. I think Curtis Jones has a chance. Kobe Sanders is a big guy, Nevada guard, in terms of length guard, has a chance. We talked about Julian Reese, has a chance. I think Stephen Ashworth, as we outlined, has a chance to find their way into the league. But a lot of these guys might have to go the undrafted route, international, G League, and then they end up getting a contract. It might not be right away through the draft. So, yes, I think there are some guys that have a chance, but nobody that I would say hands down. Even Padula is more of an undersized 2 guard at 6'1" that has to play some points, showing some of those abilities. I wouldn't rule it out, him getting an opportunity, but I don't see somebody that I say is by far. And RJ Felton's getting better, so that's one I wouldn't rule out either. He and Curtis Jones would be on that list too.
And RJ Felton, who was, as you said, a last-minute replacement, mm-hmm. I was impressed by him the first night. When he came in the game, I was waiting to see where his helmet was. This kid is built like a linebacker as you've never seen. I think they list him at 6'3", 215, and he's probably got 6% body fat, if that. He is muscled like crazy. Hits him, and like you said, he in that first night, he was a big key for that team moving on too, and hitting shots, playing defense. He's always talking out there, and when you hit him on a screen, you fall over. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's really got the ability to impact the game and used his bounce and really shot the ball incredibly well in the second game for him at the PIT. So we've got more to come here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Interact with us wherever you are. You can be in the 757, anywhere in Virginia or beyond it. You can be nationwide, globally, and come on with us and talk anything you want. And it's coming up. It's going to be Shane P. Hallam of DraftSharks. He talks NFL draft. It's coming around the corner here on the program. Like, share, and subscribe. You know Ed's going to ask about his Raiders, and will they take Ashton Genty? Will they take him or not? Take that Celtics hat off. Enough of the Celtics hat. Oh, my gosh. They lose 2 games. You'll be and your Yankees shirt. Oh, Lord of mercy.
People hate winners. The 2 most iconic franchises in sports today, in terms of titles, players, legends, Hall of Fame. Right here.
Back in a bit with Shane P. Hallam. Here we go. Take a timeout. We'll come back with more. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome back to 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have a special guest with us. Ed, he is the man now with DraftSharks. For many years, he's been coming on with us on the radio side of things, podcast side of things too. And he's also on Twitter or the X. You can follow him at Shane P. Hallam. That's Shane P. Hallam. And check out the website, DraftSharks.com, with a complete 7-round mock draft. He's now doing a ton of things with fantasy football, but he's got guys from the 757 area code in his mock draft. We say hello to Shane Hallam. Shane, it's that time of year again. It's draft time, and people are looking forward to what's on deck in Green Bay, Wisconsin, coming up on Thursday. How you been?
I'm good. It's coming up. It feels like we're, right before Christmas Day here. I'm just excited to kind of get there and get things going, but it's been fun to look into some of these late round picks, undrafted guys. I've been watching a lot of film and trying to. My goal every year is to watch every player that's drafted. I think that'll happen again this year.
I want to start there before we get to some of the obvious questions. I know Ed, my cohort's going to ask about his Raiders and what they will do, and the quarterbacks, as he's already clapping his hands, putting the fists up. He's going to go get his Raiders paraphernalia in a second. We'll hit you on some 757 guys like Keandre Lambert-Smith from Maury High School, who played at Auburn after starting out at Penn State. Charles Grenn, an underrated offensive lineman from Churchland High in Portsmouth from William & Mary, among some others. But when you watch the film, what are some myths or things you like to dispel? Maybe a sleeper or two, a player that might be a little higher, a little lower on the board, because you're a guy that goes in depth. Some people just do this and it's a crapshoot for them, but you invest a lot of time and effort into this. Give me a couple things that have been takeaways for you from the film study.
It's been interesting just to see some of the national narratives on some of the players compared to what I watch, and I'll start at the top. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders from Colorado has been a very interesting ride, right? Because of who his dad is and because Shedeur himself has been coached since 9th grade. His dad's been on the coaching staff. So we've kind of this intertwining of Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. But I think when you break it down and watch the film, I don't see a first-round quarterback there. I see a player that has a lot of potential, especially between the ears. He's really smart, reads defense as well, can manipulate safeties, does some advanced things really well. But from a tool set, a skill set, Shedeur Sanders is not a player that I would certainly wouldn't put in the top 5, top 10 of the NFL draft because I think now with defenses bringing their safeties back, using too deep, it's going to be really hard for him with his arm strength to have sideline beaters against some of these defenses, along with being the most sacked quarterback over the past 2 seasons because a lot of his own tendencies. So it's interesting to see the narratives kind of shift. And people are like, he might fall now, might fall out of the top 10, might fall into the 20s. And that more aligns with what I'm seeing. So sometimes you feel crazy because I was thinking of this in January, February, and then you get to April and some of those things start to shake out.
Now, there are some drafts where the top of the draft is a foregone conclusion months before who's going number 1 overall. You think of a guy like an Andrew Luck, quarterback from Stanford. Then there's some surprises, like in 2006 when Mario Williams went number 1 defensive end with the Texans. Most of the mocks, I see yours, with Cam Ward, one of the Titans, Travis Hunter from Colorado, Shador's teammate, who Dion also coached, two to the Browns. Foregone conclusion, or could we get a surprise, a twist here leading up to draft night, and say a trade?
I think Cam Ward's locked in. I don't think we see anything changing at 1. The Titans aren't going to move out of that spot now. They've decided on a quarterback. I think number 2 is a little bit more potential maybe for Cleveland to go another way. I know they were very interested in Abdul Carter, the edge for Penn State, who I have going 3rd to the Giants. So I think there might still be some debate in that Cleveland Browns room of, do you take Travis Hunter? Do you take Carter? Ultimately, I think they're going to take Travis Hunter. I don't think you're going to be able to move down off of 2. Someone's going to be willing to pay to get up that far. I think 3 is where the draft is going to get exciting. I think the Giants, if they don't like Shedeur Sanders, they're not going to take a quarterback at 3. Abdul Carter is there's kind of 3 big prospects here. They might be willing to trade down because they do have 2 edge rushers on the team that are pretty good, in Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. So that might be where we start to see the shakeup happen. But I think these top 2 picks are pretty well locked in.
So the intrigue starts at number 3, according to Shane Hallam. He of DraftSharks. Give him a follow on the X or the Twitter, as they say. Shane P. Hallam, and also check out the website, DraftSharks.com. Our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, brought to you by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Ed, though, believes the draft starts at 6, don't you?
No question. No question. I got my one-of-a-kind Raider hat. It's kind of, I don't know if my head got bigger over the years or the hat was shrunk. I'm not sure. But, yeah, at 6, it looks to be the running back from Boise State, Ashton Jeanty. And being a Raider fan, I've been asked, well, what would you do? What do you think? I'm not happy with the quarterback situation until they got Geno Smith. But Geno is not going to last 7, 8, 9 years. But then again, they get a quarterback, I would think, elsewhere. I always like to think offensive line, best offensive lineman available. You got to get that line strong or forget who your quarterback is. But I'm okay with Jeanty. I see you, as in many of the mocks, I see you have him down there. Other than trading going around and anything happening, will they take him? Will they sniff Sanders or some other quarterback? Will they trade?
I think trade's a possibility for the Raiders, certainly. Like you said, there's a lot of needs here for them. Offensive line, running back, receiver, quarterback. They could use a corner. They could use another pass rusher. And I think this is a team that with Geno as a transition quarterback, getting more picks isn't a bad idea. But I don't think JT's locked into 6. I think offensive lineman is a very strong possibility for the Raiders, depending on who falls. You know, Armand Membo, the offensive tackle out of Missouri, and Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU, are both worthy of a top 6 pick and could be franchise left tackles potentially for the Raiders. So if they want to build from the trenches out, I think it's a good move. But I think JT just really fits the new offense that Chip Kelly's bringing in, where he's going to use a lot of the zone blocking scheme, but use the gap in some of the short yardage situations. Loves to use the running back in the screen game, something that JT's very good at. You know, we know that Pete Carroll does love to have that run game be kind of the priority, control the clock, play defense. I think if they want to have a culture shift that the Pete Carroll hiring signified, I think Jeanty's a good way to get there and make the team competitive this year with Geno Smith and Ashton Jeanty. I think this Raiders offense could be pretty good.
See, when I look at Jeanty, if the Raiders would be sure nobody would take him to maybe draft down to pick up some more, trade down to pick up some more picks, knowing they could get Jeanty, and it doesn't look like anybody's looking to grab a running back anytime soon in the upper echelon of the lottery pick, so to speak, or the upper part of the draft. And that was one thing I wanted to ask you anyway, too, Shane, is we do all these mock drafts and look at things, but we don't know about the trades. Do you feel, and I know you touched upon it, but do you feel those trades will come? There will be, because a lot of people don't want to show their hand right now, but that people will, because I also feel it's not like a bona fide, this guy is going to be a stud forever type draft. And again, what draft is. But do you think maybe those trades will start firing off on draft night?
We're definitely going to have some. We always do. I think what we've seen in recent years is, when we have the tier breakdowns of different levels of prospects, that's where we see those trades happen. So in this draft, I think you have the kind of the big three in Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Why 3 could be a spot for a team to trade up. After that, I think you have kind of a bigger tier to maybe 12, 13 of players that teams are going to feel respectable for. So I think we could have a stretch in that back end of the top 10 where you don't see many trades. Why am I going to move up to 6 if I can move up to 10 and get the same level of player? And then I think we'll see a lot of trades happen in kind of that mid first, right? Teams, we've seen the GMs talk about it. No team has 32 first round grades. They don't have 32 players that are worth a first round pick. They'll generally have maybe 20, some even less than that. And so if you have 15 first round grades and one of those 15 is available at say 22 and I'm picking 30th, well, I better move up to get that player. And that's why I think we see in the back end of the first, even in those last couple picks of the first round last year with Ricky Pearsall going to the 49ers, Xavier Legette going to the Panthers. Those teams had first round grades on those players, so they had to move up and get them. And I think that's what we might see in this draft is kind of no trades, maybe 1 or 2, no trades, maybe 1 or 2. And then in the back end, you'll see a lot.
There's a player from outside our vicinity, but in our state, Shane, that hails from the Commonwealth out of the Richmond area, the 804 area code, played for Penn State against Ed's beloved Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We're talking about the tight end Tyler Warren, who you've got projected, I think, in the last mock going 7th to the New York Jets. And we know last year the Jets could have taken the tight end. There was a couple of them, Brock Bowers in particular, one that went to Ed's Raiders that made a splash here. What's your feel on Warren? Is he had got a chance to be, I know you're into fantasy football, has he got a chance to be that guy that's offensive for the year, whether he goes to the Jets or whoever?
I think he does. He's just such a versatile tight end. We saw Brock Bowers, who I had rated higher than Tyler Warren, but have that similar versatility. I mean, Warren, this past year for Penn State, not only caught passes as a tight end, he ran the ball a ton. He did kind of the tush-push, short yardage, QB sneak stuff for them. So that's another element to his game. He threw the ball 6 times. He threw for a touchdown. He punted the ball. So he does a little bit of everything. And I think for a team like the Jets, who paid good money to Justin Fields, is going to kind of sit there and have their offense back Fields and Breece Hall, then you want a versatile, easy piece to check the ball down to. They can get open in the red zone when you do have a shot at a touchdown, throw it up to him. I think Tyler Warren fits what the Jets are trying to build on that offense more than, say, a wide receiver or even another offensive lineman. So it seems more and more likely that Tyler Warren is going to be a top 10 pick in this draft. Tight end is always, I think, tough to peg, but someone's going to take him early. And I think they're going to get a good one right off the bat.
Ed Warren was a throwback at Atlee High School in Richmond. Basketball, baseball, football, 3-sport athlete in a high school before he starred with the Nittany Lions at Penn State.
Yeah, I think that was one of my earlier questions I was going to ask. I think Tyler Warren's stock has gone up. I think the versatility you mentioned, and he's even more versatile than I thought with all that stuff he's doing. I was really excited last year when the Raiders got Bowers because I thought he'd be gone. And, of course, the year he had with ridiculous quarterbacks goes to show how good he really is. So I think Tyler Warren, I don't want to use the old word steal in a draft, but I think he's perfect for what the Jets need. And I would think there might be a team or two right above him that may be looking at him because it's always funny. Nobody wants to show their hand or what they think. The question I have for you, Shane, too, every year we hear, do you draft for need, which I think first round almost definitely is, or do you go with the best athlete and fit him into your scheme, whether it be offense or defense, which I think happens a lot in those later rounds when everybody's looking to get some real steals. How do you assess the idea of for what you need and best athlete?
I think teams have ideas of kind of the needs on their team, buckets of positions of players. And it might not just be, hey, this year we have a hole at edge and we got to fill it, right? It might be a team like the Jets, for example, has both their starting offensive guards. They're both free agents after this year. We have to pay Sauce Gardner. We have to pay Garrett Wilson. We're not going to retain those players. So guard is going to be high on their priority list. I think in the first, second round, you see teams look at some of those positions for this year and the future where they do need someone that backs it up. Those are positions they're going to look at. Doesn't mean they won't consider other things if there's a real value. They've evaluated every position, but need plays a part. It certainly does. I think team fit is an important aspect of that, because you know that's when we get surprises on draft day. When you see myself or Mel Kiper or Todd McShay talking about their draft rankings, you know, we're not drafting for a scheme. I'm not picking out the scheme that my offense and defense is running and building a board based on that. I'm looking at everybody. These teams are looking at very specific players for their teams that fit and may have specific roles and positions that other teams simply don't use. So that's going to take players off of their board that might go much higher, and add players to their board that other teams may not have very high. So I think when we get to that day 3 is when you're looking at athletes, you're looking at fits, you're looking at special teams. You know, there's a lot of different voices, from assistant coaches to position coaches that are voicing what they want, and that's where you kind of can take some of those dart throws and may get people that don't make it in the NFL because the fits aren't there or they don't see a way up the depth chart.
Speaking of dart throws, there's a quarterback named Jackson Dart. Will he be the third guy off the board? And I think the over-under set by the folks in Vegas at 2.5 quarterbacks in round 1. Is there a chance we only get 2 with Cam Ward and Shedeur, or do you think there will be that third, maybe dare we say a 4th, 5th guy that slides into the latter part of the first, and more quarterbacks to come early, 2nd, 3rd round? Give us the quarterback assessment, because it's something everybody always focuses on.
I think Jackson Dart will go in the first round, and there's always a chance of more quarterbacks, but I feel like we always overhype it a little bit. We always think, so many teams need a quarterback, so they're just going to take one. And the quarterback's position, you don't want to just take a guy because you have to. So we can go back to Malik Willis and Matt Corral and Will Levis, right, of all these quarterbacks that are going to go in the first and then don't go in the first because teams don't evaluate them that way. So I think Jackson Dart's on the line. I have him going 26th. The Los Angeles Rams. I mean, I think 21st to the Pittsburgh Steelers is a common spot. Jackson Dart has the tool set, good deep passer. He can run the football a little bit. 3-year starter in the SEC, showed talent as a true freshman, 18 years old at USC. So there's a lot to like, but that Lane Kiffin system, Mississippi, is really built on pre-snap reads that you predetermine who you're going to throw to before you snap the football. So there's a lot that Jackson Dart in terms of progressions and an NFL offense and footwork that he has to get better at. And we saw some of that at the Senior Bowl. So I think teams are kind of getting cued in like, hey, he has the character, he has the mentality, he has the ability to adapt to an NFL offense. I think that puts Jackson Dart in the first round. I think the other possibility might be Jalen Milroe out of Alabama, who certainly is not the first-round passer, but is maybe the best rushing quarterback that we've seen since Lamar Jackson in the NFL draft. And if there's a team that thinks, we can develop this player, we can sit him for a little bit, maybe Milroe sneaks in. I'm going with the first pick in round 2 to the Cleveland Browns with his former offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese, in Alabama, now the offensive coordinator in Cleveland.
Shane also has Trevion Henderson, running back from The Ohio State out of Hopewell High School in Richmond, going in the second round pretty early as well. Could be one of those best running backs that may go to your Raiders or somebody else if Ashton Genty isn't the pick in round 1.
Yeah, I think Henderson presents the opportunity. He catches it out of the backfield, but he also is a returner who I think has gotten better and better. He's tremendous in high school. And then he slipped a little bit early for Ohio State, maybe the learning curve or whatever, but I think a second-round pick means he's pretty damn good to come up that high. Shane, the thing also, Travis Hunter. A lot of people talk about one in a generation type player. This kid, he's a wide receiver, he's a defensive back. Okay, where do we play him? Me personally, I think you play him at wide receiver because he can get the ball more, but you're going to have enough schemes to put him in on defense. How do you assess Travis Hunter?
It's a tough evaluation for that reason. We've never really seen someone play both ways full time, right? We've seen Deion Sanders play receiver. We've seen the Champ Baileys and Chris Gamble's play a little bit, or have some linebackers take fullback snaps or whatever. But Travis Hunter clearly wants to play both full time. My concern is, even watching him on film, as good as he was, Heisman Trophy winning season. I mean, there are many, many games, most of his games, where he's not playing at 100%. He's worn out. He's playing every snap. When he had to play every snap, he wasn't able really to handle it. I think he could have been even better. Maybe been a number 1 overall pick type. So to me, I like him at corner. I think that is where he can be a Hall of Fame type player. I think he can be a really good receiver. He could be a CeeDee Lamb type of receiver, right? One of the best in the NFL. But I think at corner, he has Hall of Fame potential. I think you try him at both. I think you try it out, see what you get, see how he fits your scheme and your system, see what you need and where he fits in. And if it's not working out, I think it's very easy to adjust that. So that's why I think Travis Hunter probably wouldn't go 2 if he just played receiver or just played corner in college. But the fact that he can do a little bit of both makes you feel like you can at least start there and always adjust, and you're at least going to have a really good player either way.
Shane Hallam of Fountain of Information, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you are tuning in. I want to hit on the local guys, then Ed and I will finish up with you on some overview. We thank you so much for the time here today. 2 of the wide receivers from our neck of the woods out of Maury High School, who started out at Penn State, finished up in the SEC at Auburn, Keandre Lambert-Smith. You've got him going in the 6th round. I know there was some grades early on for him at times, 2nd, 3rd round, maybe some consistency issues. Did have a flair for the dramatic, that big win they had in overtime this year. And then another guy that's a wide receiver, Daquan Felton, who you have in the 5th round, was once at Norfolk State, played at Virginia Tech. He's from Churchland High in Portsmouth. Those 2 wide receivers, your assessment of them if you can.
I think they're both going to get drafted, certainly. I think Keandre Lambert-Smith, like you said, I have him a little bit later. I think he could go as high as the 4th. I don't see day 2. I'll never say never, but I think the 4.37 40 time, showing off that speed, pretty good vertical jump of 34.5, doing that, 6'1", 190, pretty impressive. So you go back to the Penn State film, and I agree. I think you look like a potential day 2 pick, even in a system that wasn't throwing the ball a lot. I thought at Auburn, there just wasn't enough there. I wish there was more production from him. But I think that the speed, the way he's able to play the ball when it's contested, he's someone after the catch, I think offers a lot. I think teams are going to like what Keandre Lambert-Smith does, and I think he hasn't quite hit his ceiling yet. Daquan Felton at 6'5", 213, has a lot of potential. 4.5 40 time, very explosive. When you watch the film on him at Virginia Tech, he just explodes off the snap. And at that size, if going up against some bigger corners, he really gave it to them. And again, wish there was more production there that we never really got to see out of him. But in man-to-man coverage, especially on deep throws, he's really good. So I think both these guys will stick in the NFL. I think they're good, 4th, 5th receivers. Someone gets hurt, I think Keandre Lambert-Smith or Daquan Felton could both come in and give you something. And I think that's where drafted in the 4th or 5th round.
2 more guys, Shane. We appreciate the insight here in terms of the trenches before I let Ed jump back in here. Antoine Powell-Ryland, an edge rusher on the defensive side of the ball, who started out at Norcom High School in Portsmouth, finished up at Indian River High School in Chesapeake. Changes in college, too, from the Florida Gators to the Virginia Tech Hokies. You have him as a 6th rounder, and then a guy that's totally flown under the radar. It's odd for me and Ed. We covered a lot of these young athletes in high school and watched them get ranked as 4 stars, 3 stars, 5 stars, whatever scouting services, and then they pop or some don't pop. Charles Grant was on nobody's radar. He goes to FCS William and Mary. You've got him in the 3rd round, as he might be one of those sleepers as an offensive lineman. He had a Churchland High in Portsmouth. Your breakdown of those 2 guys, Grant and Powell-Ryland.
Powell-Ryland is someone that definitely popped on my radar back in 2023. He has the production, 25.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons. He's not long. He's not super fast or athletic. He's not someone that you look at and you're like, whoa, this is an NFL player. But the violence has enough bulk to him that you can't really push him around. He knows how to use his hands and feet really well. He can push NFL caliber offensive linemen. I think he's worth a late round pick. See if you can use him as kind of a reserve player. I think that type of effort gets rewarded, even if he goes undrafted. I think he's a player that can sign and make a team. So I'm really interested in him. And Charles Grant is just really impressive. William and Mary has they use this very, very zone heavy scheme. So it's a zone blocking only. And Grant really tried, I think, this offseason in the draft process to show, hey, I can anchor down. I can be a gap style. He added some weight. He's got this 7-foot wingspan that he just keeps these defenders off of him. So William Mary, he's dominant. And I think, this pro day, he had a little bit of weight, was a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow. So he's more of a kind of a projection. Can we get this huge mammoth out there and get him to work in our system? I think teams like that in the 3rd round like to take those small school offensive linemen that have that type of starting potential because, Charles Grant could be a starting left tackle in the NFL. That's his upside.
Amazing story if that happens, Ed, because he was overlooked by so many schools at the FBS level, made the most of his opportunity with the Tribe at William & Mary playing for Coach Mike London.
Yeah, and I always get excited about sleeper guys or guys who fall asleep in the draft because they don't pan out to what people thought, because it's all really, as one put it, a crapshoot, because we're basing everything on what they've done and what we think hopefully can happen at the pro level. But as we see, sometimes the two levels are distinctly far apart. And it's always loved the statistic when they talk about guys in the Hall of Fame who were 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round draft picks. And you think, wait a minute, he wasn't a first round pick. And then, okay, well, what about the first round guy? And we forget all about him. So it is a crapshoot. And based on that, Shane, as you look at, and you do a heck of a lot of work, man, I admire you for doing it. And very few people do all 7 rounds. That's when I really hand it to you. As the TV guys, all the supposedly greats, they just do the first round, and some of them cut it right in the middle and hide their pick, so to speak, I'll call it. But you do all 7, and I got it hands off to you. But in doing all your work, is there a sleeper guy out there that maybe we don't hear a lot about, who can really tip the draft a certain way, or who you really feel down the road is going to be the guy we're going to talk about? How the hell was this guy not picked in the first 5-6 picks?
Yeah, I'll give you a guy that I think is going to go maybe round 2, maybe round 3, that I think it has a star quality, and it's Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State. He's a player who, when he gets the ball in his hands as a receiver, really turns into a running back. I think is one of the best after the catch wide receivers. A ton of production at Utah State, got hurt this year, but 6 foot, 205 pounds, 4'4", 240, really explosive off the snap, 149. And I mean, Utah State, it's not a Power 5 conference team, so they're just getting the ball in his hands and letting him do his thing. I mean, he's aggressive. The question with him was, can he run a full route tree? Goes to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, makes these corners look silly running the full route tree. Looks like he has it. I think we just haven't seen everything from him, and I think Royals reminds me a lot of Rashee Rice as a player coming out of SMU. We saw how good Rashee Rice was immediately off the get-go with the Chiefs. I think Jalen Royals has that stud potential. I think he's going to be better than Matthew Golden, the receiver from Texas, who's probably going to be the first receiver off the board.
There's a good one there. And everybody's looking at that next Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you kind of look, because every time when I see, especially my Raiders, when I see their whole draft, I'll start looking at it and I'll go, well, who the heck is this guy? Where? I have to go back and read my thing on and see, did they get maybe a potential steal? Are we going to talk about an all-pro guy in a couple of years? Then I'll hats off. Or are they going to talk about a guy that's going to be on taxi squads for the next 5-6 years? I got to ask you, my second team. A lot of people get on me when I say I love the Raiders, and I really, 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 really like the Steelers. Now, the trauma they've been in tune with is this dude named Aaron Rodgers, who it was on the McAfee show yesterday. Everybody thought he was going to say what he's going to do, and he don't know what he's going to do. You have them taking alignment, which I thought was interesting, because a lot of Steeler fans are talking about, we got to get Sanders. We got to have somebody. Rudolph will not be the guy. Screw Aaron Rodgers. Your insight onto what's going on with the Steelers.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers changes what the Steelers do in this draft, whether they get him or not, right? So they can sit and wait, and Rodgers can decide now. He can decide in August, right? I mean, I don't think it matters to them. I think they're going to, if they have a quarterback that they like as the future, the Steelers aren't going to draft someone at 21 or in the 3rd round who's going to start this year, even if they drafted Jackson Dart. So whether Rodgers plays or it's Rudolph, I don't think it matters to them too much. I think ultimately for the Steelers, it's going to be about, do we think this quarterback has franchise potential, and is he worth this pick? And ultimately, Andy Weidel, the assistant GM there, came from Philadelphia. We see how the Eagles have built their Super Bowl teams from the inside out. I think that's exactly how the Steelers want to and have built their Super Bowl contending team. So the defensive line, they have a huge hole opposite Cam Hayward. I haven't drafted Derek Harmon out of Oregon, who's always comped to Cam Hayward, kind of Cam Hayward light to maybe take over for that position. And then taking Tyler Shuck out of Louisville in the 3rd round, who's a 6'5", 4'6", 40 type of player, 26 years old, experienced. I think Mike Tomlin likes to have that veteran, that more experienced quarterback after the Kenny Pickett experiment failed. So I think they might wait and draft one in the 3rd or 4th round instead of the 1st.
Shane Hallam giving you all the information. You can follow him on the X at Shane P. Hallam and on DraftSharks.com. We'll get you on this. People go up there on the website, follow your X account. People still call it Twitter in some respects. What can they find leading up to the draft and then post-draft? Do we have any analysis, grades, things of that nature? I know you'll have a lot of fantasy football stuff as we get closer to kickoff time.
Yeah, I'll be updating my big board, so I have my top 100 at least. I'm probably going to go to a top 235, maybe top 300 players in this draft. I'll have an updated 7-round mock draft the night before the draft, so you can definitely check that out. And if you are into fantasy football, then DraftSharks.com. We have write-ups on all the top quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, film studies. So I actually put the film in the articles. We break down the film, and you actually get to see what these players are all about.
Really cool. Tons of features and neat content to peruse when you go up there to DraftSharks.com. Thank you so much, my friend. Enjoy the draft. Hopefully my Cardinals knock it out of the park and Ed's Raiders, and I guess his Steelers too, but still I can't understand how you like the Raiders and the Steelers. Do all right and don't make him too grumpy, and have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Shane.
Shane P. Hallam, our guest from DraftSharks.com. Give him a follow on the X2 at Shane P. Hallam. We'll take a timeout. More to come here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV after a word from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
CoVA Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Matt Hatfield and Ed Young here with you on this particular Saturday as we get ready to close out this edition of the show. You heard from Shane Hallam, Julian Reese of the Maryland Terrapins, who will be in action among the 64 participants in this year's Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. The games being available live to watch on WGNT TV in Hampton Roads and on PrepSpi. And you can always like, share, and subscribe to our CoVA Sports TV YouTube channel. Interact with us. If you missed some of the show because we went on earlier today in terms of timing than we normally do, like Woody out there, who we said hello to, or Derek Fulgham, who tunes in. Big sports weekend, Derek says, PIT, NBA, WrestleMania. You can always go back on the YouTube, scan ahead, scan back what you like, what you don't like, what you missed, and you can have fun with us this morning. Before we bid adieu with our NBA and NHL playoff picks, it's time to quickly play over or under. You ready, Ed?
Let's do this. I forgot it's WrestleMania weekend, too. Oh, my God. How can I forget WrestleMania?
Forgot about WrestleMania. So that means no WrestleMania watch party, Derek. He was wondering about that. But here's our first over or under question. Let's go in order. 0.5, Ed, games that go into overtime with the Elam ending like the TBT today at the PIT. There are 4 games that will be taking place today. Championship, 3rd place, 5th place, 7th place. We've had a 1-point game, a 2-point game, another 1-point game to start off the tournament. Will we finally get a game that requires more than 40 minutes of regulation and extra fun? I know you like that. If you're on the call, could be one of those middle games. What do you think?
I'm going to say under. I don't think we'll have overtime.
Over. Because what will happen is my voice is going out. The last game of the night, the championship will go to overtime. And I will be hoarse more than I am now. So, yeah, it's going to happen. It's just how life is. Over under number of game 7s in the opening round of the NHL and NBA playoffs combined. There are obviously 8 series in the NBA playoffs and 8 series in the NHL playoffs. I don't have time to go through these in depth with you, which I know you want to do. And you say, put them up on a screen. We don't have 25 minutes to do this. I know that's what you want to do. However, I can quickly show the folks out there those series if they're not aware of who's playing in the first round of the hockey and the basketball playoffs. You have the Jets and Blues, Stars and Avalanche, Golden Knights and Wild, Kings and Oilers in the West, East, Maple Leafs, Senators, Lightning, Panthers. How about that? The last 5 representatives from the East in the Stanley Cup. They've won some titles, those 2 teams. Capitals, Canadians, Mr. Ovechkin in action there, Hurricanes and Devils. And as far as the NBA is concerned, we'll show that on the screen as well. You have in the Western Conference, OKC's Thunder. They are in action as the 1 seed, playing host to the 8 seed in Memphis. The 2-7 is Houston taking on Golden State. 3-6 Lakers and Wolves. 4-5 Nuggets and Clippers. You see it there on the screen. We'll zoom in a little closer for folks to see it better. I know it's a little tricky to see. And then you have Cavaliers and the Heat, Pacers and the Bucks, Knicks and the Pistons, Celtics and the Magic. So give us a pick, Ed. Over or under 1.5 game 7s in the first round of hockey and basketball's playoffs?
Easily over.
I'm going to go over as well. I don't know if it's easily because there could be some gentleman sweeps and a couple 4-0s, but I think there will be 1 in the NBA and probably 2 in the hockey. How's that for you? You good with that?
I think you're looking at 2 in both.
2 in both. Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised you feel that way. Let's go to our third one. Ready to sign off here on this edition of the program. Over or under. Number of quarterbacks selected in the first round. We had on Shane Hallam, 2.5. Shador. Cam Ward, they figured to be locks. What about Jackson Dart of Ole Miss, Tyler Shuck of Louisville? Will there be that third guy, or are you on the side of under? I know Adam Schefter's very outspoken about no. If you watched Get Up this week with him and Greeny, and EJ Manuel of Bayside High fame was on that show, and he's adamant that there will be maybe 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round. You sign with EJ, our guy from the 757 who we love and know. We got to get EJ on the show soon. We haven't had one since our radio days and since he had his camp at Bayside. Or you sign with Shefty?
I'm going to go Shefty. I think it's 2. I think Ward.
You guys are crazy.
Ward for sure.
You guys are crazy and nuts. Do you know
Sanders should.
No, someone will trade up late into the first round. You are out of your mind crazy. There will be at least 3. I'm not sure we get 4, but there will be at least 3. You are out of your mind, bananas crazy.
Where does Dart go? You have Dart going in the first round.
Someone will trade into it from the second round, I think, late. Whether it's the Steelers, whether it's a Giants, somebody will trade up, I think. Over under number of 3.5 players from the 757 to hear their name called. We highlighted Antoine Powell-Ryland, Keandre Lambert-Smith. Don't yawn. You're driving away viewers. No yawning. I should be yawning, not you. Lambert-Smith, Charles Grant, Powell-Ryland, and Daquan Felton were the 4 we talked about, too, from Churchland, by the way. Lamarion James could get picked, too. You going over or under 7.5?
I hope they all get drafted. I really do. But I'm going to say under.
Okay. I'm going to go over. Over. And our last one, over under 4.5 trades in the first round of the upcoming National Football League draft. Over under 4.5 first round trades.
I'm thinking when we talk with Shane, I'm thinking 4. So I'm going to have to say under because I think it's going to be 4.
I'm gonna one up you and go 5 and go over. I'm taking a whole bunch of overs today. Overs.
You must be feeling lucky.
Because I think teams are wanting to trade out of the round, and then there'll be a couple teams that want to trade up for a quarterback or a premium player that they think deserves to be first round and won't. So there you go. That's my feeling on it. That's going to cap this edition of the show. We are at 10 o'clock even, and we thank all of you for tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing, and keep doing it each and every week with us. He's the coach, Ed Young. I'm the other guy had last over at CIT. Say hi. Bye. Make sure you tune in. Saturday Sports Talk with us 2, or these 2, or any 2, each and every week. We'll see you next time to close out April right here on CoVA Sports TV. Take care, everyone.